This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is Not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side fly, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
My name's Aj Cazana, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and CastBox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J. And it is a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with White Lightning. Aj Cazana.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to do this.
Absolutely. Where can we see White Lightning strike next, event-wise?
Next event-wise, you can see me strike this coming up Sunday at School of Morton, 5:05 live, and then I'm also wrestling in Nashville Friday for CCW. Then Saturday, I'm pretty sure I'm at Bubba Omics Promotions in South Carolina. So I got a busy old weekend coming up this week.
Oh, yeah. And where can we find all things KC on social media and your merchandise?
You can find everything social media-wise. Instagram should be Kurt Cazana. Twitter, X, whatever that one is, would be KC Cazana. And then I'm on Facebook at Kurt Cazana. And then if you just want merch, you can just DM me, and I can get it taken care of.
Oh, yeah. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and CastBox. Alright, let's get into it. You work for the NWA. Can you tell us about your relationship with the company and Billy Corgan?
I think it all dates back to when my great-grandfather, John Cazana, started when he ran back in like the early 50s, late 60s. Him and they were partnered with the NWA way back when. And then now my dad, we're a NWA territory, so they brought the territories back, so I'm pretty excited for that. We are officially called NWA JCP Southeast. And so I think my working relationship with Mr. Corgan and the NWA is pretty good. I'm less than a year into this professional wrestling sport, and I'm already with one of the best companies out there right now. I'm pretty humbled and blessed to be in that spot.
And, being less than a year in, you recently won the School of Morton East Tennessee Tag Team Championships with Michael Gabriel. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, with Michael Gabriel, we call ourselves the Gen 3 Express. And it's me, him, and then Evan Golden, which he's a second generation. His uncle and dad was Eddie Golden and Jimmy Golden.
Okay.
But I think what I was told, we hold the same titles that the Midnight Express have held way back when, and I think that's one of the coolest things I have right now. It's probably the biggest title I've won so far.
What is it? Is that a moment you take in the moment, or is that something that kind of sets in afterwards, like, wow, I did this?
It's like this one took place like afterwards. I ain't no way I'm holding the same titles a lot of legends have held before me.
Well, you do have these titles right now. You just won them. But your first ever tag team titles comes with Tyler Shoops, the SPW tag titles. My apologies. Can you tell us about winning your first gold with Shoops.
Yeah, when I remember that, like it was like yesterday. Whenever, 'cause that's my first ever title I've won in wrestling, so I took every moment and everything I can in that moment. We beat J.R. Miller and TDT, the Zenith. We beat them for the tag titles, and winning it with Shoot. Me and Shoot, if you follow the story at SPCW, me and him, we had one heck of a match Thanksgiving night in a side of a steel cage at SBCW Caged Aggression for the SBCW America Championship. I fell short of that one. He got the best of me on that one. But then we did the Heavenly Bodies Battle Royal. We're the inaugural Heavenly Bodies Battle Royal winners.
That's awesome.
And so therefore we got a chance at the Zenith, and then as you just said, we were the champs. So that really paid off. And out of everyone in that locker room, besides my brother, I would have loved to have my brother there tagging with me. Shoop was probably one of the next best ones. So I was pretty happy to have Shoop there with me.
Can you tell us about your relationship with Shoops? Because, I wouldn't necessarily, obviously you had that rivalry, so, kind of a frenemy, no?
Yeah, that's what I'd put it as, frenemy. We're business partners is how I look at it. Because I don't particularly like the way he does business, him or his lackey is what my dad calls them, old Max Abel. I don't like how they do business, but Shoop is a former Division I athlete. I'm a former collegiate athlete. And so us two together is a pretty unstoppable force.
So, as long as you are getting results, there's no issues.
That's right. As long as we keep winning, keep these titles, me and Shoop have no problems as of right now.
But you're not going to be going harder.
I mean, I might train a little bit harder. I mean, I'm with Shoop now. I got to keep up with how he looks. He looks pretty good.
I mean, that he does. Well, going back to, the NWA, correct me if I'm wrong, but your very first match in the NWA was a United States Tag Team title match, with your brother AJ against Jack Talos and Daisy Kill, no?
That is 100% correct.
I mean, it's one thing to debut for NWA, Battle Royal, normal match, whatever. You're coming in on a high note, no?
Oh, 100%. When I was announced, I wasn't announced as AJ's mystery partner. He had a mystery, and I came out. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's got a new partner. This partner looks. I mean, we're brothers. We're actually like real brothers. People don't believe that. So me and him have more of a better connection than a lot of other tag teams out there.
Right.
But going back to that debut, I think they just threw me in the deep end and said sink or swim. And so I'm glad, even though we didn't get the title, sadly, but because Talos is like at least 8'12", and then Daisy was trained by the same trainer we were all trained by, which is Dr. Tom. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that one's factual or not, but I know he spent some time at the JPWA.
Right.
But that was just like a surreal moment to when I walked through the curtain the curtain. I was just like, this is crazy. I'm wrestling for one of the prestigious titles in all of wrestling for one of the most prestigious companies in wrestling history. And so that was like, I took that moment. As soon as I stepped through, I took that moment to myself. I was like, this is where I want to be right now. I love being here. I love everything about the NWA, and I'm thankful for Mr. Billy Corgan, Pat Kenny, Dr. Tom, Ricky Morton, anybody there that took a chance on a kid that was barely a pinky toe into the water of wrestling.
Does a moment like that become a little bit more sweeter, having your actual brother with you?
100%. I'm so glad my brother was there. I didn't have my whole family there, but I know my mom, my dad, and AJ was there. So having them there, and then surprising my cousin, which he was in the crowd, he had no idea I was coming out, and so surprising him out there with that was just like a really cool moment. And then everyone just had no clue, and I like that surprise factor of it.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of teaming with your own biological brother? Because he is actually your brother, despite what some people say.
Oh yeah, the there's the advantages. I better talk about the disadvantages because I could talk about the advantages forever. No, I think there's only one disadvantage, and it's that sibling rivalry that's just naturally there for all siblings, is for the one to do better than the other. And since I'm the youngest of the two, I want to be better than Big Brother. And so I think that's the only difference that will hold us down. But like, there's a lot of advantages of tagging with them. It's we both go to Dr. Tom's. He currently is back home for right now. And so we can sit down, watch Rock and Roll Express, watch the Midnights, the Freebirds, the Von Erichs, all of them, and just take from them and actually talk about stuff, because we both have such a passion for the sport.
Right.
And so I can just go on and on about the advantages. But yeah, the only disadvantage is that natural sibling rivalry. Because I can do stuff that he can't do, but he can do stuff that I surely can't do.
Now, what's a pet peeve about AJ that you just don't understand?
It's he can't text back. He is a terrible texter. I'll text him one day. Yesterday, I'll text him like, "Hey, what do we wear?" Like this was, I'll give you an example. This was when we were at this past NWA JCP show, which happened this past Friday. I texted him, Thursday night, Wednesday morning, in that frame, and was like, "Hey, getting ready I'm packing my gear bag, doing all this. Hey, what color are we wearing Friday?" I did not get a text back until I was already on the road going to the venue Friday morning.
Wow.
I was just like, I'm so glad I packed both of our gear that we have that's matching. And that means I have to bring 2 different cowboy hats, 2 sets of tights, 2 sets of trunks, 2 sets of knee pads. I was like, this gear bag would be way lighter if you would have just told me what we were wearing. I didn't have to guess.
Well, it does seem like, it was an incredible moment for you and AJ to, take on the tag team champions that time. It did ruffle some feathers in RE1 Anthony Andrews. Can you speak about the current issues you're facing with Austin Idols and Anthony Andrews?
Well, yeah, I definitely did ruffle some feathers that I was now a new country gentleman with Anthony Andrews now coming back into the mixture. But, I have all the respect for Idol. He's a legend in this business. It's just the way they do business. I don't like the way they do business. And I think, in my personal opinion, Anthony might be a little bit jealous of me because it took him 15 years to get to where I am, and it only took me 6 months. And so I think there's that jealousy factor. But, I don't respect how Anthony just high and dry left my brother. That made me a little bit upset. I don't want to see no family go through that. But now that he's back in the mixture, I personally don't have an issue with it. But when you mess with blood, mess with family, then it's my problem. But we got hard times coming up March the 2nd. We don't know yet. At the time of this recording, let me go ahead and put this out there. We don't know who we're facing yet but I have a hunch. I want it to be Zion and Anthony one more time.
Well, I mean, as personal as it already is, it got that much personal when Austin Idol actually brought your dad into it as well, no?
Oh, 100%. When he punched, I'm pretty sure it was at Saw when we wrestled against the Outrunners and Zion. When my dad went up there, tried to get Idol to tell his boy to stop what he's doing. And Idol just cold cocked my dad for no reason. I think he even broke his nose, maybe.
Ooh.
His nose was all bleeding and gush. That's where it got a little bit more personal with Idol and Zion. Because you mess with, AJ would say, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. I'm just saying, they started, I'm trying to think of a cool saying. Something maybe like, you got a cloud or something and the lightning strikes, something like that. I gotta come up with more time for that.
We'll continue to workshop in a bit.
Oh yeah, we'll put that back in the work. It's still in the works.
Well, bringing up your dad, I had the privilege and the honor of interviewing him about a year ago, even before you started. I can't remember necessarily if it was on air or off the air. He mentioned actually, you were starting to train with Dr. Tom. He also mentioned, maybe putting on the boots one more time to tag with you and AJ. Do you see that being something we'll see at Hard Times a little bit in the future? Has it been discussed?
I think it has been discussed that Dad coming out of retirement, when you're a professional wrestler, you never truly retire.
Right.
And so I think it's only fair. I don't think AJ should be managing us because Dad and AJ have tagged plenty of times, and I have not yet to get tagged with my father. So I think if Big Brother will let me, just let me and Dad tag one time, and then I'll say we'll call it even. Because he's tagged. I know AJ and Dad have tagged against Ricky and Kerry Morton maybe 2 years ago, something like that. That was, I think, the last time Dad wrestled like he was in a match. It was about 2 years ago, I think. So I think it would be cool. I mean, it'd be dope if all three of us are going at whoever. It can be me, the country gentleman with Joe Cazana against Kerry Morton, Alex Taylor, and Ricky Morton, the Southern Six. Silas is too busy being a singles champion. He's one heck of a national champion.
And he's a big movie star as well.
He's something. He's a character.
Shout out to Silas. Love Silas as well.
Love that guy.
What would it mean to you, to step in the ring, with your own father, knowing what he's done and, the legacy that you're a part of?
I think it means the world, honestly, because I know I give him a hard time, but back in his day, during his time, during his prime, he was really good. I'll give my dad that. He was really good. And he can still move around a little bit. I know when we announced the NWA JCP banner in Coalfield, me and Dad actually was in the ring, and it looked like it felt like he didn't miss a beat, like he still could go if he wanted to. And so even doing that, but I would love to step in the squared circle with my dad tagging against whoever, and it would be just a surreal moment that I'll take in, because I'm like, this might only happen one time in my whole wrestling career. Right. And so I would love to take it to me, like that'd be a me moment.
Well, you are a third generation pro wrestler. Almost 100 years of legacy when it comes to the Cazana name. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of being a third generation wrestler?
I think one of the advantages is that I picked up on this really quick and really easily compared to others. Like I think Doc I don't know if Doc said it or somebody else said it. I know Toby Farley told me, he was like, out of all of his years of professional wrestling, I've caught on really quickly. I've gotten way too good too fast. So I like getting told that, especially from someone like Toby Farley. He's a legend in my opinion. I love Toby. I would do anything for Toby. But then I think a disadvantage would be that same thing is I'm a third generation star. I have all that pressure, all that weight of the family name, and especially where I am with the NWA, not even a year in yet. That's a lot of pressure because I have to go out there and perform way better than I did last time.
Right.
And I'm just blessed. I'm happy to be where I am. And I try to go out there and sell tickets, put butts in seats with all the fancy moves I do, which is just a headlock takeover. That's about it.
Well, having that legacy, like I said, almost 100 years of the Cazana name. Did you find, when you came into wrestling, that being encouraging or discouraging?
I think it was more encouraging for me because me and AJ did something to make me want to actually wrestle. Was me and him, we did something in one of Dad's retirement matches, and I was just like, this is something I really want to do. Like, I can see myself doing this after college football. And so once I sat down with Dad and we talked about it, he was all for it. He was like, we'll get you with the best trainer, which is obviously Dr. Tom. He's trained everyone like from The Rock to Mark Henry to pretty sure he even had a hand in Seth Rollins and just name big names like that and that are current champs up there today. So he was really encouraging about getting me with Doc, and he's like, if you want to do it, we're going to do it. There's only one way I know how to do it. And so this is the only way he knew how to do it. That's about how I can answer that one. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it does seem very encouraging. Obviously your first match, against the tag champions Jack Tarlow's Daisy Kill. You was also in the ring with two of the bigger names of NWA as well, in Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. What was that experience like?
Once I heard they announced that match, I was ecstatic. I was feeling all kinds of emotions. I'm like, this is a big honor. I'm wrestling Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox. I know Trevor's a former WWE World Tag Team Champion, so that's a big deal. And then Mike Knox he's a freak. He's awesome. So once I figured out we were wrestling them, I was just like, this is awesome. This is very surreal. I'm looking forward to it. I even sat down. I think once we got to the venue in Sarasota that day, I was sitting there and Corgan came up to me and was talking to me. He's like, I tell you you're a little bit more nervous this time than all these other times I've seen you just walking around. I said, yes, sir. I was like, this is, I would say, the biggest match to date right now in my career because I'm wrestling two big names. He said, I wouldn't put you in this position if I 100% didn't believe in you and trust in you. And so him telling me that, I was like, let's do this. I can run through a wall for this man. So I was really happy about that because he didn't have to take time out of his busy schedule to come talk to me.
Right.
But once he did that, I was like, this is a guy I can go to bat for. I want to go to war with this guy.
That's awesome. Having somebody like Billy Corgan, obviously the president of NWA, believe in you. What does that mean to you to have that stamp of approval from obviously the head of the company?
It's amazing. It makes me feel good about where I'm going in my wrestling career. I know I'm on the right path. I'm going the right way to hopefully to the top one day. I want to be a household name. That'd be a really surreal moment if I was like in the next John Cena, like household name wise. That'd be really awesome.
Now, I noticed, you hold 2 different tag team championships. You have 3 different partners. Is tag team wrestling more the lane you want to go in, or is a singles cat something you would like to pursue, going forward?
As long as I have a job, I don't care what they have me do. This is like, because the NWA I tag with AJ,
Right.
and then I also tag on the independent scene with Tyler Shoops and Michael Gabriel. But I make the joke all the time. My brother has previously had he sold AJ. I think he sold 3 or 4 tag titles with 3 or 4 different partners at one point, and now I hold 2 tag titles with 2 different partners. I say in East Tennessee, the common denominator for tag team wrestling is a Cazana.
Oh yeah.
But I'm happy to go down a singles path. I'm happy to go down this tag path. It's whatever situation the boss puts me in, I will take 100% advantage of that situation.
Okay. I think that brings us to our next segment, KC's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
This is I haven't been traveling a lot, because I'm not licensed in a lot of places, but now I am, so there'll be more of these crazy, bizarre stories coming more. But the one I got right now is we were going to Net Pro Studios to wrestle in the beautiful Bobby Eaton Arena up in Kingsport, Tennessee. It was me, Rabbit Rogue, Andy Optimal, Bruiser Bob, and I think Wayne Moxley. We were all riding up in a car together, to save gas. We're all around Knoxville, save some gas.
Okay.
And we're cruising down the road. Next thing you know, it was Rabbit's car. His car started puttering, and it broke down on us. Nick finally called it quits. And so here we are at the exit in Sevierville. The Sevierville exit, the Buc-ee's is right across the street from where we are. And we're sitting on the side of the road while Rabbit's trying to get the tow truck AAA to come in. Me, Wayne Moxley, and Bruiser Bob are throwing Frisbee on the side of the interstate to kill time. I was like, there's no way a normal person would be doing this right now. And the looks we were getting were phenomenal. They were worth it. Because I'm over here like, I'm a professional wrestler. Nothing's going to embarrass me anymore. And so we're out here throwing Frisbee on the side of the interstate. But then, to keep going, Rabbit's car finally decided to start again. This is after AJ stopped to pick up Wayne to go back and get his car. That was in Knoxville, which is like 30 minutes down the road. So Wayne went and got his car. And then by that time, we got Rabbit's car started and up to the Buc-ee's. So I'm a big Buc-ee's guy. I was really hyped we got up to the Buc-ee's. Went in there, met Bucky, took a picture with Bucky. Got me an old Dr. Pepper Icy. Can never go wrong with the Dr. Pepper Icy.
Oh, yeah.
And then once we got back to the car, this story seems fake, but I promise it's 100% authentic. We were sitting in the car eating our Buc-ee's and waiting on Wayne and them to get back. And next thing you know, we see people trading llamas at the Buc-ee's parking lot.
The fuck?
That's what I'm saying. It was the most random thing I think I could ever see. I was in complete shock. I'm like, I did not expect to see llamas getting traded at Buc-ee's parking lot. But then we finally got on the road again. Wayne finally came and got us on the road again. Got the Net Pro, had a great New Year's Eve show. I think me and Andy Optimal ended up being the main event. And we went, it was like 11:05. And Dan Jones wanted us to go until at least 11:45 because he wants everyone to be there when the ball dropped. So I think me and Andy went a long time. But I think he hit me with the viral clip in there though that I should have saw coming, but I didn't. I do this springboard crossbody. I'm sure I hit it on the slime balls. I know I hit it on a little sage slime ball. Now I went to hit it, and he hits me with the cutter out of nowhere.
Ooh.
And so I think that clip now has maybe 20,000 views.
Ooh.
So I thought, at least, that hurt, but at least it went viral. So it was kind of worth it in the long run. But that was my one bizarre story I have right now. I do have another one, though, if you want me to tell it too. I just thought of it.
Hell yeah. Sure.
Where were we? We were coming back from these past tapings in the NWA from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa. And we just got done taping in Tampa. When you're a wrestler, you don't go to sleep. You don't sleep anymore.
Right.
And so we got done taping like at 10:30. We had like a 6 a.m. flight. And so we just stayed up. Me, all of the Knoxville boys. So like me, Doc, AJ, Dad, Silas, Big Strong Mims, and Billy Tipton. We were all going. We're all in the same flights going, trying to get home. We flew from Tampa to Charlotte, and at this time, Knoxville was getting hit with one of the biggest snow ice storms it's ever got hit with since like '93. And so we could not land in Knoxville until Wednesday. But the way it happened was we're flying in Monday. We're flying back Monday in Charlotte, flying to Knoxville. We flew around Knoxville for 25 minutes trying to get the clear to land. They said we couldn't land, so we had to fly all the way back to Charlotte. And then we got new tickets for like a flight that was at 7:30. Then as soon as the plane was about to board, the flight got canceled.
Oh, no.
And so the quickest or the earliest flight that they were going to get us on would have been like Wednesday at 8 a.m. And so we spent 2 days in Charlotte with absolutely nothing to do. We were going to rent a car and drive back to Tennessee because it's only like a 5-hour drive, so it wasn't awful.
Right.
But nobody would rent us a car for a one-way trip. And so we ended up being stuck in Charlotte for about 2 days. I think AJ even told Heath about this story. Heath Slater, Heath Miller, whatever they call him. Told him about the story. And he was like, well, baby, I live in Charlotte. You could have just gave me a call. Then AJ told him there was like 7 of us. And he goes, oh, maybe not. But then he told Doc, he said Doc was one of the 7. He was like, okay, then it would have been okay. But that was like my only, that's the most recent story I've had. I completely forgot about it because I try to push that memory out of my head.
And I mean, rightfully so.
But yeah, that's so far the 2 craziest travel stories I've had.
And
done to me personally.
They are bizarre to say the least. I'm still thinking about those llamas.
Yeah, we have a video. My buddy took a video of just the llamas getting traded, and my face just puzzled. I'm like, what am I looking at?
All right. Keeping on the subject of AJ, can you tell us about the Captain Crook picture?
So when I first debuted, before I got to the NWA, before Billy Corgan changed my name to KC Cazana, I was Captain Kirk Cazana. And Kirk is something my dad's a big Trekkie. I'm sure he's talked about it. He's a big Star Trek fan. And so once I got born, this will be a cool little insider. I got born. He wasn't going to name me Tiberius Kirk and our real last name. But Mom was like, we're not naming him Tiberius. We're just not doing that. And so he got his way. My real middle name is actually Kirk. And so that's what I went by when I did my first wrestling gimmick. I was Captain Kurt Cazana. I had the yellow gear. I had the Star Trek insignia on my knee pads, on my trunks, Cazana across my butt. Generic wrestling gear for my first ever gear I've had. But yeah, that was an interesting time in my life. I was Captain Kirk. Everyone's like, we like I went to this one place. He was filming for Fight TV. It was like, we can't call you Captain Kirk because it's too close to actually Captain Kirk.
Right.
Off real Star Trek. I was like, cool, dude. But then once I got to the NWA, they were like, AJ and Kirk, they just don't go together. That just doesn't sound good. And so they brainstormed in that meeting. I remember the day before, this is also another reason why I love Mr. Corgan. We were in the hotel, and he came up to me. He was like, what does your gear say? Like, what does your gear say on your stuff, on your wrestling gear? I said, well, they say, KC on my knee pads, on my trunks, and it says the Cazana across my butt. So me thinking it's KC, like Kurt Cazana. Little did I know he was like KC Cazana. And so that's where KC Cazana came from. And the way I got the White Lightning nickname, because I don't know if you know, like, East Tennessee wrestling, but this is White Lightning. Tim Horner was the first White Lightning that I knew. And so AJ was brainstorming. He's like, why don't we call you White Lightning? I was like, wanting that Tim Horner's nickname. And Horner is still around, and him and Dad are still pretty good friends. And so the first day I used it, we called Mr. Horner up, and Dad was like, hey, my son would really love to use White Lightning as a nickname, as like a gimmick. He was like, what do we have your blessing to use it? And I think Tim said, 100% I'd be honored if he used the White Lightning stitch.
That's awesome.
So that was really cool, because the promoter was like, that was the announcer, the promoter, he did it all. And this is at SPCW too. Matt Bowens does a lot, and I'm really thankful for Matt Bowens and Johnny. They gave a kid a shot, so I'll always be grateful for them and always go to them and try to work as many of their shows as I can. But he was like, Matt was really hesitant about using White Lightning before we got the okay.
Right.
And so he was just like, are we sure? Like, I don't want to step on any toes. And once we finally got the okay and Matt knew, he was like, let's do it. And he was 100% for it.
Well, can you tell us about the picture that AJ constantly reposts on his Instagram of you in the Star Trek uniform when you were a child?
That is his favorite picture of me, and I don't know why. Out of all the pictures we have, out of all the funny little kid, I was a kid, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I thought Kirk was cool. But that's his favorite picture of me. And every year on my birthday, he said, I will never not post this picture. And then another caption was like, this is just another excuse to post this picture. But to simplify, that is his favorite picture of me. And I hate it.
Well, we know why it's his favorite picture now.
Yeah, I look goofy. I just have that. I think I remember I'm mean mugging. I'm walking. Just like, I hate it here. That was the look, I think, is what I was given.
Well, I mean, are you a Trekkie?
Me personally, I am not a big Star Trek fan. I am more of the Star Wars fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Well, can you tell us about your love of Star Wars?
I think I don't know where it came from. I think it came from my papa before he died. But me and him used to watch Indiana Jones together. And Indiana Jones is apparently canon in Star Wars, because I think George Lucas or somebody like Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, one of the names, I can't remember, directed both of them.
Right.
And so my papa was like, I think you would like Star Wars. And so we watched it. I think it was episode 4, A New Hope. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever watched in my life. And so now then I got hooked. I watched all of them. I love each and every movie differently. They're all different. Like, I think my favorite would possibly be episode 3 because I like Anakin and Obi-Wan. There's going to be an Instagram post coming out here real soon. It might have already been posted by now. But I'm going to post the hard times, lean up to hard times, a picture of me, Dad, and AJ, and then a picture of Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker as a child, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, all from episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Because I was like, this perfectly symbolizes it can honestly show our ages. It can show who's the wisest because it's somehow perfectly, I'm in the middle, Dad's on the left, AJ's on the right. And in this picture, Qui-Gon's on the left, Obi-Wan's on the right, and Anakin's in the middle. So I'm like, this could not have been more perfect.
I love how you translate Star Wars to pro wrestling, because there are similarities.
You can compare apples to oranges if you wanted to.
Now, if you watch Star Wars, are you starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or are you 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3?
I like to watch it in chronological order. Because if I'm introducing somebody to Star Wars, I don't want to show them 4, 5, and 6 before I show them 1, 2, and 3. Because I want them to be like, to get that thing if they don't know, Anakin turns out to be Darth Vader. Sorry for the spoiler. No one watched it. And then just the whole, all that stuff. I would want them to watch in chronological order. Because I think that would be the easiest to pinpoint everything.
Well, me personally, I would watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because I have severe OCD and I need to do it that way. But if I was to introduce somebody to the franchise, I would probably start with 4, 5, 6. Simply because, if they have no idea what Star Wars is, the impact of I Am Your Father is would blow somebody's mind.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember looking at something, and Harrison Ford had no idea that was in the movie.
Right.
And he looked at Mark Hamill during the premiere, and he was like, hey, kid, you didn't effing tell me that.
That's right.
I was like, even Harrison Ford was shocked. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Because at that time, I think at those times when those movies were coming out, no one knew Anakin and Padme were going to have a kid or 2 kids, and so no one had any idea until that moment. So back then, I think that was the big oh shit factor.
Right. I mean, if people, are living under a rock or oblivious, they would know. But if it's somebody that doesn't know, it's a big, payoff of the series. But I know what you're talking about, because the director, I'm pretty sure George Lucas didn't direct that one. He was it was 1 page of the script that was left out of the whole script, and when they did that scene, he was like, "This is the actual a page of the script that you have to do, and only you and a certain amount of people actually know." To Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I just think that was really cool because nobody knew until the movie came out that was the line that was in the movie.
Because everybody likes spoilers now. Nobody likes to.
Oh yeah, I try not to look at it. I try not to look into speaking of it's like watching the Chiefs and 49ers game last night. We kept rewinding it and going back to look at the funny things in the commercials or whatever. And so we were way behind the real game. So I kept getting up like notifications on my phone. I was like, I have to put my phone down. I want to witness this with my friends.
Right.
How it's supposed to be.
No, absolutely. Like it takes away from that moment of when you actually see it.
100%.
All right. On top of Star Wars, then, Phineas and Ferb fan.
I'm a big Phineas and Ferb guy. I love Phineas and Ferb. That was, growing up, probably one of my favorite cartoons. Almost like the regular show, Adventure Time, Ed, Edd and Eddy. Yeah, there were still old cartoons when I was growing up.
Yes.
The original Teen Titans, SpongeBob. But no, I remember with one of my friends that we've been friends with kindergarten, me and him, in elementary school, we were in the same class in the 5th grade, and that's when Adventure Time and regular show came out. And every day we would come in the class the next morning was like, did you watch the new regular show? Did you watch the new Adventure Time? And just talk about that. And so that's like one of my good memories of those. But those are definitely my favorite cartoons. Like you said Phineas and Ferb.
Yes.
I love Phineas and Ferb. I have when I was a kid, when I first went to Disney World, I have a Perry stuffed animal, an Agent P stuffed animal that I still have to this day. It's sitting. I can look through my gaming setup and see it right over there sitting on the couch.
That's awesome.
So like I still have it.
What's your favorite episode and favorite song?
I like all the episodes. I can't just pinpoint one. But I like Marvel too. So I think when they did the Marvel crossover with Phineas and Ferb, that was lit. They did a Star Wars crossover. That was awesome.
It was.
And I think my favorite song, I got like 2 of them, would either be I Ain't Got Rhythm when they were getting Love Handle back together.
Okay.
Or when Meep came down. I thought Ferb was driving the car. It sounds like the space car, but it sounds like Ferb would do it.
Yes.
It was like my ride from outer space.
Yes.
So I think that was also one of my favorite songs from Phineas and Ferb.
My favorite is Squirrels in My Pants.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not a bad song, honestly. Like for a kids' TV show, there wasn't a bad song.
I'm not all crazy about music and in TV shows, especially cartoons, but like Phineas and Ferb, like they knew how to do a song.
They knew when to put it in and when it needed to be put in.
Exactly.
It didn't mess with the flow of the story, and that was really good.
Well, I think that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
There's this music like all over. Like I can pick any music I want to.
You're the producer. Anything is.
Oh my goodness.
Everything's on the table.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's a good question. I like Hamilton, and so I want the guy that played Alexander Hamilton to help me with the music. I can't remember his name.
Miranda.
Yes, I would want him to help me pick. But if I'm picking 80s music. I think I would probably honestly I like Rocky. I'm not a big Rocky fan, but I like Rocky. So I would have to have Eye of the Tiger in there.
Okay.
What oh my god, what other songs would I want? Any 80s song, like I just listened to it's like the what Kevin came out to or Carrie came out to. I can't think of the name. It's gonna piss me off. But that one,
The Storm.
like I think it was a Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer, yeah.
That's what it was. It was Tom Sawyer. That song's pretty good, so I'd want that one in there.
Okay.
And then, honestly, I'd put like, oh my gosh, no one's ever asked me this question, so that's why I don't have my answers off the top of my head.
And that's what makes Wrestling with Entertainment different from everybody else.
Listen, I think I would go for like modern day, probably like Eminem.
Okay.
Probably like what's the one song? Oh my goodness, it's gonna make like "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, like as like one of the montages leading up to something.
Okay.
So that'd be my 3 songs. And don't ask me to repeat them because I don't remember them.
You're fine. You had "Eye of the Tiger," Tom Sawyer, and "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
Oh yeah, I think those, in my opinion, those are pretty solid picks.
I couldn't agree more. Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, and then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays KC? And you can't say yourself because you are obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Oh, nice. I would have. Oh, who would I have play me? I'd probably say Chris Pratt. Honestly,
Okay.
I think Chris Pratt or Chris Hemsworth. One of them two.
Hell yeah. Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people in your movie significant to you and your story, and who would play them?
I would say Dr. Tom Pritchard would be in there.
Okay.
My brother AJ.
Okay.
I'm trying to stay away from like obviously my dad would be in it. I'm trying to like think of somebody outside of my immediate family besides AJ. I would have to put Billy. I'd have to put Billy Corgan.
Okay.
I would have to, because without them I wouldn't be where I am.
And who would play these individuals?
Oh, Doc would be Doc would be played by, I don't know, I'm not good with names, I'm good with faces. It's the guy that played in Meet the Fockers, not the main character, was the CIA agent. The one that was, you know what I'm talking about.
Robert De Niro?
Yes, I think he would make a great Doc because they give off the same vibe.
Okay.
And then person that would play AJ, golly, I don't know, AJ's so big. Let's go with it'd be like a Wardlow, a wrestler. We'll put a wrestler in there.
Okay. Wardlow.
Because they're about, I don't think they're about the same. I think AJ's a little bit bigger, but no one's going to be as AJ size. So I'll say Wardlow, and then someone that play. Who did I say? Mr. Corgan.
Yeah.
Since he is, I think he is a vampire. So I would put the guy that played Edward, Robert Pattinson.
Yes.
So I would put Robert Pattinson to play Billy.
Okay. And obviously, Silas Mason will be in the movie because he's a big movie star. So.
Oh, for sure. You can't have a movie without Silas, and every movie that's without Silas, they're missing out.
Right. All right. It sounds like a fantastic movie, and you could pre-order the tickets now.
Let's go.
On to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Me personally, I've never tried it, so I don't know.
Well,
that's it. Yeah, you ain't gonna get no controversial answer out of me. I've never tried it, so I don't know. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know anything. I don't know about it.
Well, I mean, it is an answer. If you've never had it, then clearly you're anti, right?
I'm not for it nor against it.
So you're staying neutral.
Absolutely. I think that's the best way to go with anything controversial.
Smart. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh, Spirit Pokemon. Oh my goodness. Who would it be? So I'll just have a Charmander.
Hell yeah.
I'm one of the starter ones. I'll be a Charmander.
Now, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
I don't think I do. I don't think I'm cultured that much.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. 'Cause a thug can't spell. Dr. Tom needs to give you a lesson in Tracy Smothers, it sounds like.
He needs to. I know who Tracy. I knew who he was. I just didn't.
Right.
I just was. I'm not that cultured, and I guess I just gotta study more. I gotta do more film study or something.
Well, we love the late great Tracy Smothers, and we're trying to keep the memory alive on the show. Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical rock.
How much? It depends on how much I'm getting paid. I'll wrestle anything if I get a good payday out of it.
Alright, so if the price is right, you will wrestle that rock.
Oh yeah.
Well, just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Did The Rock win?
Technically, yes, he did. It was, they tied 319 to 319. The Rock was the world champion, so, he retained because it was a tie.
Okay.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully in the WWE.
Okay.
That's probably the most basic answer that anyone's ever had. But that'd be my 5th year in professional wrestling, and I'm already with the NWA at year 1, almost year 1. So I think that's the sky's the limit for me, to be honest. So I would love to be NXT, SmackDown, Raw, anywhere like that.
Oh yeah. And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you are all about?
Oh, if I had to pick an NWA match, it'd be probably the Country Gentlemen versus the Slime Balls, because I get a decent amount of my offense in there, and I get my cool crossbody in there. But this match hasn't aired yet, but it was announced for NWA Paranoia that we filmed in Fort Lauderdale. I think it was the Country Gentlemen against with Dad Joe Cazana in our corner against Zion, Anthony Andrews, and Austin Idol in their corner.
Okay. Can we find the Slime Balls match on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube, but it's also on the CW app.
Okay.
And the way to look at it is you go to CW, type NWA, and it should pop up. And our episode is with Silas Mason and Devin Dixon as the cover.
Okay.
They're facing off. That should be the cover.
And you don't need a subscription for that. It's free on Seed, right?
It's completely free on the CW.
Perfect. All right. And I will find that match, whether it's on CW or YouTube. I will find it. I will put a link to it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
I'm ready if you are.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
John Cena.
Worst wrestler.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know. I don't think there's a bad one.
Would you like the default answer?
Who's the default answer?
You have chosen Eva Marie.
Oh, okay.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Cody Rhodes.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Cody Rhodes. He has a pretty cool theme song.
Hell yeah. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Alive.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Squash?
Yes.
I would say vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
Dang.
Yes.
I had no idea. I forgot squash was even a thing.
It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Okay.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I'd say it has to cover your whole butt.
So full coverage.
Full coverage.
Okay. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I have not.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Thank you again for coming on. Once again, where can we find all things KC on social media and your merchandise?
Instagram should be Kurt Cazana. X should be KC Cazana. And on Facebook at Kurt Cazana. And then if you want merch, just DM me.
And you
I don't have a cool website like AJ.
Not yet.
Not yet, anyways.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machine. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
I got new ones coming out soon, too, so you better.
Hell yeah. Give him a
I'm
damn
excited for
follow
them.
and then DM him.
Yeah. I'll post them. If you want one, DM me.
Hell yeah. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Big Sam. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Dread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesShane993. Okay, Casey, when I say Wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Yes, sir.
For our special guest, Casey Cazana, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.